cornerstone to success in your business. It really is the infrastructure, the baseline, the most basic form of your business that is going to help you create a clear and actionable path to success. Now, how you define success is up to you. And success then is broken into goals, followed by strategies, followed by tasks, followed by action. So in order to keep track of all of that, it's best to start with what your business objectives are. Now, if you're just getting started, your goals are going to look a little different than someone who's been in business for years. So as someone who's been in business for 25 years, working for someone else or in my own company, I understand the importance of establishing goals, but then also creating plans for achieving those goals. So if you're brand new in your business, you could have a goal such as, I want to bring on 10 customers within a year. And in order to bring on those 10 customers, we're going to break it down into different strategies in order to achieve that particular business goal. Now, if you've been in business for a while, you've obviously already got customers. So one of your goals might be to increase your overall gross revenue by a certain percentage or a certain dollar amount. Or it could be to increase your customer retention numbers. Or it could be reducing your customer acquisition costs. There's all kinds of different goals that you can establish. And what's important is to understand what's working, what's not working in your business, and then understand what that path of success needs to be in order to achieve those particular business goals. And that's what we're going to do in Module 1. You'll notice that there's a link below this video that you can download a spreadsheet in order to create your business goals, and then a document that you can use throughout the year in order to keep track of and manage your goals and make sure that you're staying on track to hit those numbers and those objectives by the end of the year. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is a walkthrough on how to establish goals, and I will also share an example. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using Canva to share this presentation. But first, before we get started, what are SMART goals? They are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So specific meaning it's not just we're going to increase customers, it's we're going to increase customers by a certain amount. What type of customers? New customers, customers who've been on board, customers who've only bought a particular product or service. So it's important to be as specific as possible, because you're then going to make it easier to measure them. And your goals need to be measurable so you know when you've achieved them or when you haven't. Attainable means realistic. Make sure it's something that it's within your wheelhouse, within your business unit, or within your business overall. The next one, which is relevant. Your goals need to be relevant to your job role or to your specific business. Time-bound means assign a specific deadline, check-in times, check-in dates, make it specific regarding a particular date and time so that you know who's not only accountable for that, but when it's actually due. And again, this goes if it's beyond your business unit, and of course, if there's more than one person working in your company besides you. Let's look at what holds us back from achieving our goals. These are 5 top reasons why most people do not achieve their goals. One being loss of focus. If you have too many things going on, or you are not 100% dedicated to achieving that particular goal, then it's going to keep you obviously from achieving it. So in order to achieve it, you need to make sure that you're laser focused on not just the goal itself, but the SMART steps that you need to establish in order to achieve that particular goal. Lack of planning. If you don't plan out how you're going to achieve a goal, then the chances of you actually doing it go down significantly. So you want to make sure that you have a plan in place, which is what this module is talking about. The third reason is inability to act. So that could be getting stuck in, you've probably heard the term analysis paralysis, or you've had this plan laid out, but you just aren't taking any action. Your goals and achieving them are only as good as the actions that you take.
So in order to actually achieve them, you need to take action. Another thing is bad habits. If you're setting the same goals year after year and you never achieve them, then chances are that you have bad habits in place that you need to replace with good habits. And the only way to do that is first acknowledge that you have bad habits, identify how and when you can remove them from your routine, and then identify how you're going to replace them with a good habit, something that's going to help you move the needle or take action towards achieving that particular goal. Now, bad habits do take time to replace, so be realistic about what you need to do and what you're capable of actually changing. But put a plan in place to make sure that you're establishing good habits that are going to actually help you and not hinder you. Distractions is the fifth thing. So if you have, I like to call it shiny object syndrome or squirrel syndrome, if you are constantly distracted by other things and can't focus on achieving even a task towards achieving a goal, then it's time to either have a reality check of how interested you really are in achieving that particular goal, or to evaluate what changes you need to make in order to reduce the distractions. And that kind of goes hand in hand with this first one of loss of focus. So if there are goals that you have in place and you're either not passionate about them, or you've had repetitive goals that you're like, okay, this year I'm going to do it, and it's the same thing that you've set up in the past but just haven't been able to do it, look at what's keeping you from doing that. Be realistic, acknowledge it, and then create a plan that can help you reverse that. Let's go ahead and get started. So here is the basic infrastructure of goal planning. So we start out with a goal, a strategy, you have your objectives and KPIs or key performance indicators, and then you have your tactics that are going to help you establish those along the way. Looking over here on the side, successful businesses have up to 5 business goals. I recommend 3, especially if you're starting out. Have 3 goals that you focus on all year long. And if you're a bigger business or you have multiple units, business units, then you may want to increase those. But the point of having business goals is to have everyone collectively collaborate, communicate, and work towards a common goal. It just may be different strategies or different KPIs for each person or unit. But the important thing is to communicate and agree upon what the goals are for the company, and then have the appropriate people involved in developing the strategy, the objectives and KPIs, and then have the appropriate people in place to actually achieve them. Keep in mind, as you're going through this process, they need to be SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And we'll go through that as well. So they document the goals and share with their teams. Together, they develop the strategies, tactics, and KPIs to ensure success. The goals are visited throughout the year, but most companies visit every month to track their course of success. So either every month or every quarter, depending on what works best for you. But you definitely don't want to only visit goals and statuses once a year, because then you're just setting yourself up to fail and you're really not that focused or excited about achieving it to begin with. So let's go ahead and go step by step and go into this a little bit more. So you can see behind here what that structure was. And this really answers the why you are doing this. So if you're trying to figure out what goals should I establish, look at why you are doing this to begin with. This goal states what you want to achieve at a high level. The strategy is going to be the approach you take to get results. So it's what you will actually do to achieve the goal. And then when you look at objectives and KPIs, what do you want to achieve and how will you measure it? And then the tactics themselves will be how will you achieve it? The specific actions taken to achieve objectives. Moving on, so now we can see all of these overlaid together, so you can see what that looks like. And again, this is a downloadable document in this module, so you will find a link or an attachment below this video. I also provide a blank one that you can use to either print out and write on, or if you want to use the visual component of it, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and go step by step now. Going through and using an actual example. That's what the rest of this is. So let's just say that this is one of 3 goals that you have. Okay, and one of them is exceed $1 million in revenue. This obviously is an existing business. So we're going to use this one goal for the remainder of this example. You'll want to repeat the same exercise for each goal, but I'm only going to review one just simply to show you how to do it. Once you have that goal in place, now you're going to want to roll out a loyalty program as an example. We're trying to create strategies around how we're going to exceed $1 million in revenue. And one way to do that is to roll out a loyalty program. Of course, there's all kinds of different ways, but the ways that I'm sharing here are also offer an online course like what you're taking right now. And you could also have product bundles. So if you have a suite of bundles now, look at how you can bundle those together and offer those at a discount versus buying those products separately. The strategy is the approach that you take to get the results. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can, the number here can be however many you need it to be. I'm just showing 3 to give an example of how you can achieve that $1 million in revenue in this example. Okay, so let's go ahead and go on to specific examples. So here would be one way to achieve this would be to obtain 500 students. We're looking at the online course, and we'll just say that the program is $249. Another example would be through email subscribers. In order to achieve this goal through an online course, one way to do that is to increase your email subscribers 20%. And that's one way to not only increase your email subscribers, but offering an online course is going to require someone to provide you with their email, right? So it's going to, this right here could actually achieve multiple goals. But your objectives and your KPIs, which are these 2 things, are what you want to achieve and how you will measure it. So this is how we're going to sign up 500 students, and we're also going to do an email marketing campaign. And how we're going to do that is we're going to focus on increasing subscribers by 20% and then also offering the course at $249. So that's going to help us get there. Okay, so now we're going to look at specific tactics to do this. One way is through webinars. Another one is through social media. You can also go and create a plan and include success stories, and then also through a VIP access after your course. So that would be maybe a monthly membership program or just something offered to VIPs that then of course would go towards your $1 million in revenue. I'm going to pause it here for a second just simply so you can see how this all pulls together. And these could be anything. It's whatever works for your particular business. But if you're wanting to exceed revenue by $1 million, then you can see here it's going to require a lot of thought and planning, and it's going to involve other people because you probably can't do all of this on your own, and you're just going to want to set yourself and your company up for success by getting other people, the right people, involved in helping you do that. As I mentioned, I do have a template that you can use in the comments or as a link below this video, in addition to the goal spreadsheet that I shared with you. Go ahead and download those now and go ahead and get started.